I'm Chris, and congratulations because you're almost done with learning about vectors and vector addition, at least for this video series. I'm sure you still have a little bit more work to do when we're done, but after this series of videos, hopefully you've spent maybe 15-20 minutes of your time watching, and if you have a pretty strong understanding of vectors, then that's a pretty good return for that time investment. So let's go ahead and finish off this problem, make sure we're able to get that final step under our belt. So we've already found the horizontal and vertical components of each of our three vectors that are being added together. And this is the shorthand expression of that, but what you'll probably see when you're dealing with word problems, these are the kinds of problems where it says something like someone begins at a certain point and then they travel 10 meters 50 degrees north of east, and they travel 15 meters east and 8 meters 30 degrees east of north, and what's their total displacement, or something along those lines, where you're looking at a few different legs of a trip and then you're being asked to calculate what the final result is from where you started. So if we look, our resultant vector, if we were to make one big line from our starting point all the way to our ending point, for that final resultant vector to figure out what that displacement is, we're going to treat it as if it's one gigantic right triangle. And that's why it's so important for us to know all the horizontal components, because that'll tell us this entire piece of the triangle, and all the vertical components, because that'll tell us this entire piece of the triangle, and then we can just use a little bit of Pythagorean theorem. So that's what we're doing to solve this problem. Now, for the horizontal components, so Vx, your total horizontal components of all the vectors together, will be the horizontal component of that first one, plus the second one, plus the third one. And same thing for Vy, we're just adding them up. Now, an important thing to note about vectors in this case, they all kind of go the same direction. They're all going at least a little bit to the right, so these would all be positive values. But if any of them happen to go to the left, we would assign that as a negative value, because remember, direction matters. And if you walk 5 feet in one direction and then 5 feet in the opposite direction, you're going to end up right where you started. So one's a positive and one's a negative, and they would cancel out when doing vector addition. So just make sure that you keep that in mind. For this first problem that we're working on together, though, we're going to make sure that we deal with all positive values just to make the math a little bit easier on us. Okay, so when we add these three horizontal components together, which is what we see over here, this would be 10 cosine 50 plus 15 plus 8 sine 30. And when you sum that together, you can use your calculator. On this, we'll round to 2 decimal places. And I did the calculation ahead of time just to save us a little time, but make sure you are comfortable enough plugging it into your calculator. In this case, it comes out to be 25.43 when rounding to 2 decimal places. And then for the vertical components, we're going to add those together. So we would be adding 10 sine 50 plus 0 plus 8 cosine 30, and that one, when rounding to 2 decimal places, will come out to be 14.59. So that's what we get for the total horizontal component of our vector, and this piece here will be the 25.43. This piece here will be the 14.59. Which means our resultant vector will be simply the hypotenuse of that triangle. And to solve for that, we're just going to use Pythagorean theorem with these two pieces. Now, that's not something we're going to do in the video. That's something that if you click on the link below, you can check whether or not you got the correct answer. It'll bring you to a page on our website where we have the correct answer listed. But the correct answer for that last step of this long problem is just going to involve using those two numbers and doing Pythagorean theorem. So if you have further questions, please feel free to visit our website at sandersontestprep.com, and make sure you click on the link below so that you can test out your answer and make sure that you got it right. Thanks for watching.